It spikes your mental capacity. Now you're better able and better charged to take on everything that the day has in store for you. You're more effective and you're more productive. Get your workout in first thing in the morning. This is Jarvis, the morning hero, former computer engineer turned sales rock star turned performance and accountability coach. I've spent the last 4 years rebuilding and designing my life around success. Took my engineering background and engineered success to come up with a couple of tools, a couple of easy to follow tips and tricks, a couple of laws, if you will, that I implemented in my life that really put me on this hyperbolic trajectory of life. And so I've coined these the 5 laws of success, and today I want to share with you these things that have been so instrumental in my life, and now I teach this to hundreds of people, and they've had complete turnaround and transition points, and it has really been the linchpin and the cornerstone of them achieving their goals. So I want to share with you a few of the laws that I guarantee will turn your life around. The first law of success being this one. It is the cornerstone of the whole process. It's the foundation point, and that is waking up early with a structured morning routine. This is the foundation of everything you will produce. Any and everything, all of your output starts right here. It starts with your morning process. It starts with your structure. It starts with how you start your day. Now, why is your morning so important? I always tell people that if you win the morning, you win the day. And why is that? First and foremost, you get a head start on everyone. So I say that progress is made before 6 a.m. Anything after that, you're just maintaining. You want to get a head start on the rest of the world? The rest of the world wakes up around 6:30 in the morning to get their day started. By that time, everyone's already firing off emails and text messages, and social media is blowing up, and the news is coming in. The distractions and the chaos of the world has already started by 6 a.m. If you want to get ahead of that, if you want to make progress, you got to beat that. If you want to make real progress, all millionaires, billionaires, and successful people wake up before 6 a.m. I started off waking up at 5 a.m. Now I wake up at 4 a.m. I'm getting a 2-hour head start on everyone. And that's because I've invested in going to bed early so I can wake up early and get a head start on everyone. Now, when you wake up that early, you'll notice that no one else is up. It's just you. You know, even before family gets up, I prioritize waking up before family, before my wife and before my 5-month-old child gets up, so that I can have my peace and solitude. I have to start with me first before I can show up for everyone else in the world. And that's a really key distinction point. You have to start with yourself before you can go and serve the world. If you're waking up running into responsibilities, you've never really had a chance to get yourself organized, get your foundation set. You aren't really at a point where you can effectively serve everything else and everyone else around you. You have to get up early enough so you can start with yourself. You have some peace and solitude. No one else is bothering you. No other responsibilities are calling and pulling for your attention. It's just you. And now you have time to really get your day off started right and get some momentum. And so when you do this, you establish momentum for the day. You're not just waking up and running. You have to have time to really slowly establish momentum for the day. Get your bearings in order, get your bearings straight so that you can really focus on what do you have to do today? How are you going to prioritize your time today? Where are you going to be most effective today? Schedule it out on your calendar. When you get a head start on the rest of the world, then you give your chance that slow ramp up to really build up momentum. This is the biggest one. When you get up early, you eliminate that old excuse of you don't have time. I hate when people say, I just don't have time. Yeah, I just don't have time. How is it that you don't have time, but other people figure out a way to make time? How is it that Elon Musk can run $3 billion companies and still have a family and still do all these things, but yet you don't have time to work on this project. You don't have time to read a book that's gonna increase your skill set in this area. You don't have time to go work out. How is it that everyone else can find time, but you can't? It's because they wake up early enough to do those things that they say they don't have time for. If you ever catch yourself saying, I just don't have time, this is the answer. Wake up earlier to do those things, to work on yourself, to invest in your time, your treasure, building up your skill set, planning your day. Wake up earlier, and now you have time. You'll find that when you get that momentum started, By the time everyone else is up, you're already racing. You're already finished with a lot of your high priority actions. And you're more efficient, you're more effective, you're more productive, and you're done by lunch. I try to do all my heavy lifting, all the big priority things that's gonna push my goals forward. The heavy lifting, I do all that before lunch. Imagine what that feels like to be done before lunch. How much more time do you now have on your hands to spend with a family, to invest in yourself, to go get a massage? When you wake up earlier, you give yourself time to do everything you need to do before lunch. And the rest of your day, you're just flow. You're in this state of flow. Waking up early is the foundation. It's the first law of success. All successful people wake up early to attack their day. Now, what happens when you don't? And let me know if this describes you and your situation. You get stuck in place. When you're just waking up, running into the chaos and the frenzy, you're just running into all your obligations and fighting fires and bouncing from task to task and never really had a chance to step back and get your day organized and prioritized. You're less effective and you just get stuck in this rut. You get stuck in this routine. You never make progress. You're not making progress on the important things. You're spending a lot of your time on the busy work, frantically, frenzied, chasing after trivial task to trivial task, and you're never making big progress. That's the foundation point. That's the core of being busy and not productive. You ever get to the end of your day and you're like, well, I am exhausted, but I really don't know what I did today. You just woke up into the frenzy, right? You never had a chance to get ahead of the game. You just woke up into the wheel churning and you hopped right on that hamster wheel, and now you're exhausted from running around all day, being busy, but not really putting the effort into the things that matter most. You're exhausted. I say people spend big energy on small things. I'll say that again. People spend big energy on small things. And that's because they never had time to prioritize and get their day focused. So they just dragged around all day long, bouncing from small thing to small thing, trivial tasks, to putting out fires, to obligations, to distractions. At the end of the day, they've spent a lot of energy on things that don't really matter. That leads to burnout. Unfortunately, this is the sad reality for a lot of people. They're in that cycle for so long, they're just burnt out, exhausted, a lot of energy, no real progress made, not really pushing the ball forward, constantly procrastinating, putting off the big things, and the goals fall to the side, serving everyone else and never themselves. They burn out, give up on what they're pursuing, and they just settle for a life of complacency and comfort. Don't let that be you. So how can you avoid this? How can you make sure that you can implement a discipline of waking up early so that you can get a head start on the rest of the world? Have your peace and solitude to invest in yourself. Get your day organized so that you can be effective and not just busy. One of the easiest things you can do if you want to start to wake up early, and this is what I did. When I first started to build this discipline of waking up early, it's not easy, right? You don't just jump up one day and start waking up at 5 in the morning, especially if you're historically used to waking up at 10, 9, 8 in the morning. You don't just wake up one day and start waking up early. It's a transition. What I had to do was I used my phone as my alarm clock. And when it's right next to me in the bed, I could just reach over and snooze it. It's way too easy. It's way too accessible. The first thing I had to do was I had to get the phone out of the room. I put my phone in my bathroom. That way when the alarm and I still used it as my alarm clock, but that way when the alarm went off in the bathroom, I had to jump up out of bed and race to the bathroom to go get it. So that ensured that I got out of bed. And then now I'm in the bathroom looking at my toothbrush, looking at myself in the mirror. All right, it's time to just go ahead and go after it. The worst thing you can do is sleep next to your phone, which is your snooze button. Don't sleep next to your snooze button. Put it in another room, and that ensures that you have to get up to go get it. And once you're up, don't you dare go lay back down. Now it's time to get the day started. Now it's time to get amped up and juiced up and get going. One of the best things that I do in the morning is write down my goals. It keeps me connected to my vision. That keeps me focused and organized on what's most important. When you get disconnected from your goals, you'll find that you'll spend a lot of time doing random things that don't align with your true north. The best way to prevent that is to align with your true north every day. And that means write it down. I actually physically write my goals down. I have a custom journal that I made for all my members of the Morning Hero program. And the very first step in the morning, you open that journal up, and the first section of that journal is write down your top 3 goals. So every day, spend 1 minute. This takes you 1 minute to write down your goals. Once you just connect to your goal, immediately you're gonna say, okay, what do I need to do today that's gonna be the highest priority, the highest impact towards those goals? And so I'll put my calendar out and I calendar everything that I have to get done that day. Every single thing, not just the appointments and the client appointments and the big meetings and the team meetings, but actual actions. Once I say, here are my goals, here's what's important, schedule those actions on your calendar. When you schedule things on your calendar, you're twice as likely to do it. Let me say that again. When you schedule something on your calendar, you are twice as likely to do it. Even if you don't do it at that exact moment that you scheduled it for, the fact that you intentionally put it on your calendar, it plants that seed in your subconscious. So all day long, you're like, I gotta do that thing. I gotta make sure I make my prospecting calls. I gotta make sure I send out my email marketing. Putting something in your calendar plants the seed in your subconscious of commitment. You've committed it to your calendar and now you're going to get it done that day. So I schedule things on my calendar and then I go exercise. Best way to establish momentum is to go exercise first thing in the morning. Not at the end of the day, not after you went to work and you're tired and now you have to muster up motivation to try to go to the gym. No, first thing in the morning. Yeah, so what? Wake up a little earlier. Go first thing in the morning to get your workout in. It gets your endorphins flowing, it gets everything moving, it spikes your mental capacity. Now you're better able and better charged to take on everything that the day has in store for you. You're more effective and you're more productive. Get your workout in first thing in the morning. So these things, it's that important to wake up early and get your day started with a structured morning routine. It's not easy to do this. You may need some extra help. You may need to join an accountability group that will help you build this discipline. Here at the Morning Hero, we have an accountability mastermind where every morning we wake up and we do this whole process together. You have to be on a video call at a certain time and we walk through writing our goals and understanding what's the most effective use of our time that day. And we do this every day. Every day, when you're part of an accountability group that's going to force you to show up and show out every morning, that's the best way to build this discipline. It's the best way to ingrain this first law of success, because this is the hard way. And don't do this alone. I encourage you, wake up early with a structured morning routine, right? And if this is something that you fully want to commit to, the best way to fully commit to it is to join an accountability group where you do this process with a group of other people. That then takes it to another notch, because now you got other people holding you accountable to showing up, to identifying your goals, and to pushing them forward every day. Now that adds a layer of urgency, and you will show up and show out every day. I encourage you, check out the Morning Hero accountability groups. That's the best way to build this habit, this first law, which is the foundational law of your success. Be extraordinary this year, and don't settle for anything less. See you guys.